Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Indy Sports Show. Yet another full weekend of action-packed Betway Premiership games. Of course, that actually starts on Friday with Durban City, Kaizer Chiefs, Ccissé, leading up to the big one on Saturday, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns. What a spectacle that was as well. We saw Golden Arrows breeze past Marumo Gallants on Sunday as well. So as usual, I'm here, Smiso Msomi, ready to dissect everything that went down in the Betway Premiership this past weekend. So again, a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, a couple of moments actually. Let's speak about it and let's see how much of that we can actually get through. Yeah, so let's start Friday nights under the lights. Durban City, Kaizer Chiefs. I was at the stadium, so I don't know what people were actually watching off their TVs, but what I was watching, big worries, but not so much Durban City, because I think if you're Durban City, that was exactly how you would have wanted or planned the game to actually unfold versus one of the biggest clubs in the country in your first season in the top flight, sold out affair. I think it was about 45,000 people packed out the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Of course, Durban City played their first ever home game in the Moses Mabhida Stadium. I think that was to accommodate Kaizer Chiefs more than anything. Of course, they usually play the Friday night lights under the lights of Chatsworth Stadium, but this time they chose a bigger venue, which in turn seemed a good decision when you look at the number of people that actually came into the stadium. So yeah, in terms of on the pitch, as I've said, I think if you're Durban City, you would have wanted the game to go exactly how it went, except for those final moments, except for that one brilliant Fabio Silva moment, late header. I think it was in the 88th minute. Fabio coming on to save Kaizer Chiefs' blushes again, who before that point had looked lost. I think if you're Kaizer Chiefs, you're looking at that performance, and the only positive that you can actually take from it is the fact that you actually won the game. If you look at the run of play, if you look at everything else leading up to the 88th minutes, and yes, the 88th minutes, Chiefs had 88 minutes to try and break down Durban City, who, I'm not going to lie, did not make it easy, of course. They've never made it easy. I don't think there's a Kevin Hunt team that's ever made the game easy for the opponent, but it was on Chiefs' responsibility to be able to break down Durban City, because that's what they probably expected anyway. But if you watched that game and you're a Chiefs man, I wouldn't blame you if you were worried, because that was a worrying performance again. But okay, Chiefs won. I think they had gone 4 games without winning in the league before that, so they're probably just happy to get that duck off their back, climb up back to third again, and just be in touching distance with everyone that's playing for CAF positions. Some people have suggested that Baby Chiefs are playing for the league. Personally, I don't think so. So I think their target this season has to be CAF spots, so that win actually does them good. I mean, it's only been 10 games, but it does well. It just keeps them there. But from a performance perspective, I'd be worried. Although when I spoke to, or rather when I asked the coach in the post-match press conference about the performance, he didn't seem bothered. In fact, he blatantly told me, I don't really care about the performance. We've played good games in the past and we've never won games. So to me, performances don't matter at the moment, and results are what I actually want. And you can actually see that video right here.
The shorter the question, the more questions we're able to field.
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, today. Smiso Msomi, media. Coach, I know at the end of the day, it's the results that actually matters, and that's what you're sort of looking for to sort of get a good run going. But is there any worry about the actual performance having gone for long periods in the game without creating any clear goal scoring chances?
Hold on, Coach.
Because when all our recorders are there, now we're taking the recording from the speaker, so it's better if the coach can just speak without
the mic.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
The audio is not going to be good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, colleague. Sorry
Thanks
for the break in transmission.
Thanks for your question. I think, like I explained before, we expected that this game will be tough for us. We expected that the performance it will be tough to make to keep the same performance. It's mentally, after winning the cup game and to qualify the group stage, we know the mentality here in South Africa is difficult to keep the same mentality. You see the other teams, they played in cup game. Example, Stellenbosch yesterday they lost 4-0 against Marumo Gallants. For us, the most important thing is winning the game. The performance after is coming. If you remember last season or when we started this season, a lot of game there is good performance but without result. Now we think only about result, winning the game. Then we are happy if the performance coming with winning. But for us, the first thing is winning the game.
Yeah, so clearly performances are not on the priority list of Coach Ben Khelil. Of course, Kaizer Chiefs co-coach alongside Ccissé. Amakosi just want to keep collecting those points, and credit to them, they did, albeit via a very special moment between Gaston Sereno and Fabio Silva. But again, another game that played on Friday, Ccissé are slipping down. Ccissé are slipping down, and it's not for good measure. Of course, you will remember that very famous Eric Tinkler interview. You will remember that moment where a certain super sport presenter actually asked Coach Eric Tinkler where or rather how he would look to motivate his boys. I think that was after they lost to Polokwane City out in Limpopo. Coach Eric Tinkler spoke about the fact that he didn't think his boys needed motivation, but apparently it feels, or rather it looks like, they actually need it, because I think they've gone 3 or 4 games without a win now, or is it a losing streak? But yeah, they haven't won in 4 games, so that's worrying, and they're slowly slipping down from those calf spots that we spoke about. So something for Coach Eric Tinkler to look at from that perspective, and hopefully Ccissé actually bounce back and we could have a competitive rest of the season with regards to those top 3, top 4 spots. And now over to the big one, Saturday. Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates. From in terms of a footballing and success perspective, Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns are currently the biggest game in the country. So it was no surprise that this tie was highly anticipated from every football fan in the country, whether you watched to see your rivals lose, whether you watched to hope and pray somehow another team is able to hold Mamelodi Sundowns so they don't start building that head of steam that we've associated with them for the past 8-9 seasons. It is the game of the season, and it delivered again. It delivered again. I think many other people like me probably expected more goals, looking at how both teams have been susceptible to conceding goals in recent weeks. Of course, Sundowns are not back to their best as yet, so that might have been a chance for Orlando Pirates to take advantage of that. But so too with Pirates. Although they've played, according to me, they've played some of the best football this season in the league, but they are also susceptible to conceding cheap goals, and and I wasn't surprised when they actually conceded the kind of goal that they conceded. Of course, the Namibian international Shasha getting, I think, his 7th goal against Pirates. Love scoring against the Soweto teams. I think he has a similar number against Chiefs as well. So Peter Shalulile gives Mamelodi Sundowns the lead in the first half. And from there, it probably seemed as if, okay, Sundowns had taken control of that game at that time. So it probably seemed as if this was the perfect start for them in the first half. But hold your horses. And please, someone hold Dansin, or rather, someone please hold Cemran Dansin's beer while he does the spectacular. Cemran Dansin might have scored the goal of the season already. Cemran Dansin is a 20-year-old midfielder, plays for Pirates, played in the DDC last season. He's played back-to-back games now. He played in the Carling Knockout Cup against Mike Ccissé in midweek. He started that game. He starts against Mamelodi Sundowns. Everyone looks at Coach Abdeslam Wadu like, are you crazy? You have Sipho Mbule on the bench. You have Talent Mbata on the bench. Why are you playing a 20-year-old against Mamelodi Sundowns? Did the 20-year-old not answer that question for him by scoring, arguably, I could say, that looks like goal of the season to me. Dansin scores a volley off his left foot outside the box versus the national team goalkeeper and captain in a high-profile game. How big does it actually get? How big are you ever going to score a goal? The only thing that's better than that moment is maybe scoring that kind of goal in a cup final against Mamelodi Sundowns or maybe Kaizer Chiefs. The biggest game of the season, you score a volley from outside the box with your weaker foot. Cemran Dansin, take a bow, sir. Well done. But yeah, from there, it just seemed as if Mamelodi Sundowns would find a breakthrough of some sort. But yeah, both teams highly competitive. A lot of highlights, as you would expect. Both teams playing positive football. Yeah, man. I think the game itself actually lived up to the billing. Others might have wanted more goals, but yeah, I'm good, man. Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, thank you again for another special Betway Premiership match and a good advertisement for the South African game. And then on Sunday, what are we going to do about Stellenbosch? Now, I feel like as a country we need to come together and actually speak about the fact that what are we going to do about Stellenbosch? Steve Barker's men are struggling, if there's a better word, of course, following the exit from the Carling Knockout Cup in midweek, getting trounced 4-0 by Marumo Gallants. They jetted out to Mpumalanga to meet the experts of TS Galaxy. Yeah, and caught another loss. This time, 2-0, goals by Saluleko Mahlambi, the younger brother of Pagamani Mahlambi, of course, and an own goal by Sanele Barnes. Means now Steve Barker and Stellenbosch have lost yet another Betway Premiership game, and they still languish outside the top 8. And this is a top 3 team we're speaking about. Questions have begun, or rather had already begun, surfacing around the selling rates of Stellenbosch. And yeah, it always seems as if it's a good business model until you have ambitions of your own. And I think that's what Stellenbosch are suffering from right now. Stellenbosch have been praised for years for being able to produce some of the best players in the country, which in turn big teams actually buy, which is something that they're happy about, of course. But for the sustainability of the club, it's probably the perfect model, because I don't think they get relegated. That's not something I think that's even on their minds. But if you have ambitions, if you're going to play CAF football, if you're going to want to win cups and eventually challenge for the league in the coming years, the Stellenbosch model at some point needs to be revisited, and it needs to be altered, unfortunately. I don't think, well, we've asked Coach Steve Barker in the past, how does he balance the club's ambitions and his hopes of winning more trophies for the club. Of course, Stellenbosch won the Carling Knockout Cup 2 seasons ago now, and have been to MTN8 finals, and they've lost. And they've lost to Orlando Pirates, who run their club. Of course, Pirates is a bigger team than Stellenbosch, but the ambitions. Aligning the recruitment with those ambitions is very, very crucial when it comes to wanting to win trophies consistently, and this is something Stellenbosch have not been able to do. Yes, we will continue to praise them for giving platform to a lot of young players and pushing them to the next level, and essentially aiding the growth of football in the country. But if you're Stellenbosch and you look at what every other big club is doing in the country, you're going to want to revisit that model, and hopefully Coach Steve Barker can turn the ship around. He's a good man. Stellenbosch is a good team, fun team to watch. In fact, one of the most entertaining clubs in the land. So hopefully they can turn their ship around, and they can also be a part of that chasing pack where we see entertainment for the rest of the season. So yeah, and then on the other side of the spectrum, Golden Arrows are on the up and up. Golden Arrows are on the up and up, and they are my favorite team to watch in the Betway Premiership at the moment. Yesterday, Golden Arrows trounced Marumo Gallants. Remember, Marumo Gallants that beats Stellenbosch in midweek 4-0? Yeah, they also went to Durban and caught 4. Golden Arrows are playing the best football in the country at the moment. Coach Ben Khelil is cooking there. He's cooking. Of course, Sede Dion opened the scoring for Golden Arrows. And he got, I think, his 7th goal of the season, 7th goal in the league, in fact. He's now the leading top scorer. I think he's just followed by Ikram Reynolds there. So Sede Dion doing very well for himself. And then I think Thokozani Kumalo, 22-year-old striker, bought from the Midlands Academy in the off-season, comes on, he gets his brace. And then there was a 4th goal scored. My goodness me, how did I forget that? Ccissé, Ivorian 19-year-old midfielder. He's a Royce. He plays the game with so much ease, plays the game with so much poise, and he's just romantic with it. He plays like he's dancing waltz. Got his 2nd goal for Arrows in as many games. Not a scorcher, but one of the most beautiful goals from outside the box that you're going to see in recent weeks. So that's 4 goals. Arrows, a clean sheet. That's 6 wins, I think, in 7 games for Coach Ben Khelil's team. Back into the top 8, and that's to add on to the fact that they are in the semi-finals of the Carling Knockout Cup as well. So that's a trajectory as well. Huge compliments to Coach Marumo Gallants. But they have a test that's coming on Wednesday. Orlando Pirates coming to town. It's going to be a very an interesting encounter, if that's the right word to use. And I think all football fans are actually looking forward to that encounter and to see how Arrows actually go pound for pound against one of the best countries in the league, one of the best teams in the country at the moment. So yeah, Coach Marumo Gallants versus Coach Abdeslam Watu on Wednesday. I know we're all going to be watching that. And again, we are pleased, or rather, we are honored to be able to watch the beautiful game in the Betway Premiership. And this weekend was just a good reference point of why it is the best league in the continent. So yeah, until next time, sayonara.